Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and you are watching another StarCraft 2 England cast. Now today guys, I have got a game from the Razer replay pack of the week. It is LiquidSheth and it is game 1 of 1. It is a ladder game and it is between LiquidSheth, who is the red Zerg in the lower right, and Evil Genius's EGIdrA the blue Zerg in the top right. So EGIdrA is a super well-known player. Questionable on his performance recently, actually. A lot of things in Team Liquid and various other sources saying, is he really doing as well as he could be? Who knows? Again, it's really up to the individual. He's certainly not as good, in my opinion, as he was about a year or so ago when he was really doing well. But we'll wait and see. Obviously, individual player performance does fluctuate. Now, what can we expect from this match? Well, it is obviously a ZvZ. Zerg v Zerg. The map Daybreak is a really popular map. It's the ladder version, so no supply depot or anything like that. And that basically means that lots is going on. And, well, so far, the drone thing. What? No, apparently nothing too crazy is going on. Suddenly worry me there. Both players have gone for the Overlord first. That is the safe thing. I don't know what this drone thing they're talking about is. I really want to know. I'm sure that's something I should know, but if anyone knows, leave a comment below and enlighten me, because I like to know new things. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Basically, not much. We've got both players looking like they're going to go for a fast expansion. So a hatch first build, 15-15, hatch first for everyone involved. We'll probably see a 15 pull out of both these guys now, because that is really the best thing to do in this situation. Daybreak, of course, while it is a two-player map and you know exactly where your opponent is, you can then simply... You can't just simply run over, because look at how far it is to get over there. It's absolutely huge rush distances. And what's this? Hold down C and Shift and spam right click the minerals at a certain point. And I'm glad Sheth is confused, because I am too. So that is all good. I'm sure one day I'll work that out, but I'll try and ignore those two now. We do have EGIdrA getting down his gas, exactly the same timings at the moment as Sheth. Both these players doing very, very similar openings. Slightly faster pull and gas from Sheth, but not by much, so that's okay. Now, obviously, both these players do respect each other a lot. That's obvious from the chat they're talking here. And obviously, it's just a ladder game, so they're happy to be quite relaxed and just play. It's not like it's a tournament or anything like that where the winner can win something, so to speak. So just taking a look, we don't have anything too out of the ordinary going on. Neither player has too much of a bang. Chef does have a couple of bang there, but both queens started, so both these players are going very, very economical, and that is actually quite good, to be honest. I mean, that Overlord is getting a lot of information, this Overlord for EGIdrA getting a lot of information. Let me just say, while both these players are macroing it up, that if you like any of my casts or videos, please give the video a thumbs up, leave a cool comment below, and of course subscribe, because I get new top level games up every single day of the week. Really, the sport's amazing, so that'd be brilliant. Also leave a comment about my casting, what you like or what you think I could improve, because that is really helpful as well for me. Now, just taking a look around, we do have Chef there with a evolution chamber coming down. That's the first real variation in the build. No gas spend yet on that metabolic boost either, and Chef does have quite a lot of gas banked up, so I can't wait to see what he's going to do with that. EGIdrA, on the other hand, has speed already. There goes the +1 ground carapace, so that is a very, very interesting opening, and I think you might get a Baneling Nest next. And there we go, so this is a very, very defensive style of play, and can't wait to see how it works. And great use of denying those Zerglings scouting any information of the main base there for EGIdrA. So EGIdRA is still playing pretty much blind, and this is quite unusual, but we do have the Spine Quarter on the way down. EGIdrA, though, going for the very, very standard Zergling Baneling play. That is going to be very micro-intensive, and one Zergling does sneak in, and that gets all the information, well, a lot of the information that EGIdrA actually needs, and he's going to see that obviously the evolution chamber is done, but most importantly, see that rippling effect? No rippling effect, or less. Big ripples and throbbing, slow ripples and throbbing. That basically says whether the spawning pool is researching speed. As you can see, just started there. EGIdrA will notice little things like that, and therefore know that Chef hasn't got speed yet. And it'll be interesting to see if he tries to utilize that. Does see the Baneling Nest, and does also see that evolution chamber, so knows that some very early upgrades coming on. In response to this, EGIdrA getting up his lair very, very quickly, also getting his own Evo chamber, and I just cannot wait to see what this has done. I think we may actually see Chef transitioning into quick roaches, purely because roaches are only vulnerable early on to mass Zergling, basically, because they deal a lot of damage, but armor is very, very potent against Zerglings, purely based on the fact that Zerglings have a high attack speed and low damage per hit, so armor takes a big percentage chunk out of their damage. Now, Sheth getting up that third and fourth gas, EGIdrA getting up his third and fourth, well, his fourth gas already. We do have that roach one coming up, EGIdrA at the moment. Sheth has just started his own lair, his metabolic boost is nearly finished, but both these players haven't actually really done anything. We've got Sheth trying to sneak a Zergling in, we'll see those two gases down. That says a lot in itself. There's some Zerglings being kept on the wall off, trying to deny anything going in there. That's a good move by itself. Great overall positioning from both these players. I mean, just to touch on that briefly, I mean, on the high ground there, not actually on the high ground, but just keeping an eye on the ramp, keeping an eye on the ramp, keeping an eye on the third, keeping an eye on the third, and Sheth taking his third base now behind this. Sheth also getting an awful lot of Zerglings out, so I can't wait to see what he does with that. Sheth does have a couple of defensive banelings. There are a few Zerglings getting into the main base, but to be honest, with only two, I don't think they'll even be able to pick off a single drone, but will get scouting his way, which is so important. Now, Sheth has put a single Zergling down there, ready to prevent a third base momentarily, and EGIdrA will be very keen to try and take a third, because obviously he knows his opponent has. The only other option EGIdrA has, rather than expanding himself, is to deal damage, and that looks like the approach he's going for. He's getting some banelings, he's getting 10 roaches out, and obviously while he does have that +1 missile attack nearly finished and roach speed on the way, this could be a potent timing push. For the moment though, he doesn't really want to show Sheth what he's doing. Sheth with an awful lot of Zerglings coming over, and with the +1 carapace, those Zerglings are going to be quite potent. +1 missile attack on his way out, but the two banelings could ruin Sheth's day, and I mean really ruin his day. And this one big hit could do an awful lot of damage, but this third base is going to come up uncontested. EGIdrA only just now taking his third base. Look how far behind that is. So that will give Sheth good economy going into the mid bane. And now here we go. We've got a lot of units coming in, streaming in fact. But those banelings are there, and look at those baneling hits. So many Zerglings get taken down there, but it's still the Queen. That's going to go down. All the Zerglings trying to come back. We do have some pushes coming in from other directions. Those roaches so slow. This roaches popping that will help an awful lot. Those roaches, of course, aren't going to engage too well against those +1 armor Zerglings, and some do manage to get into the middle line. Will they deal any damage? We'll wait and see, or are they just going to get scouting information? Sheth getting up his spire, EGIdrA getting an awful lot more roaches, and just going to come and attack. And now here we see an awful lot of spine callers coming down for Sheth. That's precisely what he needs to do, because by going Spire, getting out those Mutalisks, you're vulnerable to just flat out, I'm going to come and kill you moves. And that is precisely what EGIdrA is deciding to do. With an awful lot of roaches, his +1 missile attack is of course finished, and those spines are not going to be done in time. An awful lot of drones getting called, just trying to soak up some damage, because those spine callers getting focused so incredibly quickly. EGIdRA doing so much damage right now, and of course those spines do pop. EGIdRA is going to have to deal a lot of damage, focusing down as quickly as he can. Is managing to do so. The Mutalisks won't engage too well while they are popping. EGIdRA with so many roaches, Sheth is really going to have to, well, defend a miracle. Now, he is doing quite good damage, but just look at how many roaches they are. Splitting the roaches, 2 spines up in the main base as well will help, but here we go, all those roaches running out, a lot of lost mining time. That spire is gone. There's no way to save that at all. And obviously we do have a couple of roaches down here to the third base. The spire falls, and now really those roaches, they will get cleaned up, but Sheth has lost his key tech structure. That was really a lot of investment in there. The spine crawlers will help, of course, as well. But we do have more roaches coming over here for EGIdrA. A lot of roaches heading towards that third base, and it could get taken out. EGIdRA, of course, does have his own third base up already. Now, with only a handful of Mutalisks, it will take quite a long time to kill off those roaches. Yes, there are 13, but those roaches are going to do an awful lot of damage in that time. The +2 missile attack coming down, and that third base isn't going to survive. It's going to be so damn close. It's literally, no, it doesn't. Literally just gets taken out. That is a big win for EGIdRA, obviously, because he does still have his third base. Spore crawlers are already thrown down everywhere. A second actually a spine crawler or a spore crawler coming down in the main would be good to see. A couple more spores, because without any other anti-air, the Queen are 2 spores there, and there is 2 spores at the natural, which is the second spore aren't together. But to be honest, those Mutalisks can probably focus down the spore crawlers quite effectively. No micro on the Mutas though, that's always a good move to try and get down. But the Queen and the spore crawler will start dealing good damage, but those Mutalisks are doing so much. Pathogen glands is done, so those investors pop instantly, able to mass fungal growth, and that is bad, sad times for Mutalisks. If nothing else, they're all on very low health, so if and when those spore crawlers finish, they will deal very, very effective damage very, very quickly. Fungal Growth is yet again ready. There goes down another Fungal. Chef losing an awful lot of units right now, and EGIdrA is in such a dominating spot in my opinion. The worker count says it all. 51 to now 42, or 57 to 42. EGIdrA is so far ahead in terms of workers, and he's ahead in tech as well, because remember the Spire was taken down in that big roach push, and it just really demonstrates why going mutas can be very risky, because if your opponent has gone for a large number of roaches, they can just come and kill you. And that is precisely the strategy EGIdrA took. Now, we do have EGIdrA chucking down an awful lot of changelings right now. He does have those infestors moving down, ready to defend that third base, because that is really the saving grace of EGIdrA. The third base only just being retaken now for Sheth. He is so far behind economically, it is absolutely insane. Of course, Sheth lost some mining time. Tech-wise, he's getting up his infestation, but he's getting that plus the roach speed, he's getting the +2 missile attack, he's got +1 carapace. That's compared to the 2-0 at the moment for EGIdrA, but the +1 carapace is on its way out, and I'm trying to look how far behind it is. It's, well, about 30 seconds behind, but it takes 30 seconds less to build, so they'll be pretty equal on upgrades if anything goes on anytime soon. Obviously, the roach speed is 3/4 done for Chef. That's something he's really lacking in mobility. But EGIdrA should be happy in where he is right now. Just really sitting back and not relaxing, but sitting back, defending, playing safe, getting that economy. And I mean, if we look here, 69 drones right now, and now here comes the big roach flood. He's gonna go and try and do some damage, and to be honest, Chef, he doesn't have the roach numbers already to deal with it. He has no infestors out. He literally has those 10 roaches. That is all he has got going for him. He's getting out some infestors now, but this push is gonna hit before those infestors pop. Now, even quite a few of these roaches coming out of position. They could run back, they could try and counterattack, but here we see EGIdrA streaming over just so many more units. There is nothing in the way of defense other than just one spine crawler and 2 queens there, so that could be a bit of a problem. But EGIdrA now pulling back his units. The third base is up for Chef. The fourth base on its way for EGIdrA, though. EGIdRA staying consistently ahead all the way through here. He's playing very, very well indeed. Chef building up those spine walls, just doing anything he can to buy himself some time, but this third base is the vulnerability. Quite a few infestors on the way down, and it'll be interesting to see whether EGIdrA does use the roaches and save the fungal growth, or another possibility is always that you could just lock down an awful lot of infested turns. The fungal growth goes up, doesn't catch quite as many roaches as EGIdrA would have liked. This fourth base might be forced to counter right now, but this third base is definitely going down. These infestors have so much energy. You need to be careful though, there's a spine crawler there, and those infestors are attempting to run away. One gets away with 1 HP, that is so lucky. Meanwhile, they've got Zergling run by Chef. That fourth base does stay up though at the moment. The queen will go down, that's not too big of a loss. The third base is lost though for Chef, and EGIdrA pulling back, and that is just such a good decision, because ultimately, by pulling back, he's able to defend this fourth base and get 2 bases ahead. He's also got that macro hatch, and I don't believe Chef has a macro hatch anywhere, so EGIdRA's production is just so much higher, his work count so much higher. Everything EGIdRA's got is better right now. The only thing he can really do now is go up to Hive and get Broodlords out. That is really the only option I foresee him able to really get any further ahead. I mean, he's got a good army, he's pretty much maxed out. All he can do is tech. He's getting that Hydra Den ready to counteract any Mutalisk that may come out, also giving him extra firepower. But so many spines invested here by Chef, and if we look at the resources lost, Chef has lost more and has a worse economy. That is never good. The Centaur could actually get taken out by EGIdRA, just to give him a quick resupply route, and there goes the Hive, just as I thought it would do. And again, that's really just going into the real endgame, and I think Chef is going to have some kind of miracle if he wants to come back from this, because he's nearly mined out his main. Now put him down to 1 mining base. We do have a handful of roaches, but if we look at army supply, 126.72, that is quite a lot further behind. We've got 5 Hydras coming out. Now that may not seem like many, but 5 Hydralisks with group spine, with of course the +2 carapace and the +2 missile attack, are very, very potent damage dealers, and with fungal growth as well, can really help those roaches be effective. Chef trying to double expand, but that base will almost certainly be forced to cancel. The roaches are so out of position, they're actually cornered. The cancel does go down on the 4th base, and there goes the burrow. But is there an overseer for EGIdRA anywhere? Yes, there's one on its way over, and also fungal growth could have been used, so I'm surprised that EGIdRA didn't go for that much more, but just gearing up a whole load of units ready to really prevent those roaches from going out anywhere. And actually, in fact, we could see EGIdRA just go and attack and pick off that third base yet again, and if that third base went down for the 3rd time, I really don't think Sheth would be able to come back from it. I think it would just be too much of a loss. And there's so many roaches here. The fungal growth does go off okay. Needs to split those roaches as best he can. Sheth doing a great job of funging everything and anything, but for the moment there's just too many roaches. EGIdrA just has too much stuff. EGIdrA even getting his Spire up, they're ready to go Broodlords, and that's the third time the third base has been lost. The main base pretty much mined out, but Sheth is counter-attacking with quite a few roaches, and the fourth base of EGIdrA could actually be sacrificed right now. I don't know if his units will be able to get back in time. They should be, especially because Sheth isn't focusing, and it'll all come down to how much damage can be done quickly. But that hatchery is being focused right now. The roaches are coming back, and it looks like Sheth will get the kill on the fourth base. That is precisely what he will want. The third base as well, if that goes down, that would level things out slightly. Plus the missile attack on the way down for EGIdrA obviously does have a hive. Sheth doesn't have any hive attack. Now, those roaches are trying to steal the damage. They won't get the kill though. And yet again, our burrow goes off. That is such an annoying thing. But meanwhile, we've got some burrowed infestors in the main base, and Sheth is now going to lose pretty much all of his tech. That many infestors and infested Terrans do huge damage. That the lair will go down. That really puts Sheth back into the Stone Ages, and again knocks out another production facility. We've got infested Terrans down here at the natural as well. The third base not being attacked by infested Terrans at the moment, but quite a few drones were picked up. If we look here, it just killed 58 drones. It's now 21-71, and I have to say I believe that now will be GG. Those burrowed roaches are still there, but EGIdrA just so far ahead in every possible way that I don't see any way that Sheth can come back. Good fungal growth, so he's defending the ramp as best as he can. Infested Terrans getting locked up by EGIdrA though. Sheth will have to do some amazing defense, which for the moment he's doing. He's holding on. That if we see here some more infested Terrans getting lobbed down, and obviously their main base, without any creep, these buildings will slowly die. Those infestors not being utilised, obviously because there are those two spine crawlers there, so there's not even much they could do right now. But Sheth, he's got a big problem. Basically, the 3-3 upgrades on the way out for those roaches. The burrowed infestors are still there. They're giving good information about what Sheth's army movement is doing. There's a couple more hydras being added. How many hydras are already on the field? Only the one, so they're taking up to 8 hydralisks, and obviously the greater spire. Now, that means the Broodlords can come out for EGIdrA once he frees up some supply by sacrificing a few roaches. But Sheth really in a last-ditch attempt, but the fungal growths go off. The fungal growths are perfect, getting a massive group of roaches that is allowing EGIdrA to engage with so many more forces. A whole load of infested Terrans getting locked down right now. But I feel that EGIdrA just has too much stuff. The supply says it all. And there is the GG from Sheth, who did a valiant defense. But all in all, I feel EGIdrA just played the better game. All the way through, he played very well indeed. So guys, just to summarize, if you did like the game, like my casting and everything, please subscribe. New games up every single day. Like the video, because ultimately that does me a huge favour. And if you like it, it basically means the more people who might like it will see it as well. Leave a cool comment below. Let me know what you think about EGIdrA, what you think about Sheth, what you think about my casting or the games, or what I should cast, anything at all. Just leave a cool comment, but most importantly, flick over to my channel and have a look at some of my other casts, because I've got loads of cool games from loads of big name players, and loads more from both EGIdrA and Sheth on there. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Madals, and you have watched an SC2 England cast. Bye for now.